David walking away, he sounds just as great as he did when he first broke into the scene, the music scene. I saw a performance on YouTube Shots, I believe, and I was like, wow, this guy has really taken care of his vocal cords. And speaking of, I don't know if you follow Colors on YouTube and on Instagram, but my God, they had Shaka Khan. And Shaka Khan. That's my Woman Crush Wednesday, by the way. That vocal range is impeccable. At 72 years old, she's still milfing. Here she is. And I'm a woman, but I can say that. I can say that very safely. But Shaka Khan is the ultimate OG MILF. And she can still carry a tune in her back. And man, can she sing. I've been watching and rewatching obsessively. And I can't even believe she did Through the Wire. She did Through the Wire. I think the song came out in 1986. And she sounds better, dare I say. She sounds so much better. Or maybe we're just, because she's 72. But look for the video and you'll thank me later. Thank you so much for making the time. Word around town. And today, guy. Imagine, and I have been put inside Anganya. Ken Gitao, by the way, your audacity has no boundaries. You just do what you want to do. But I like it. I told you are who you think. How did you change my shoes though? That's cute. I like it. Manitoa designer shoes ukanivalisha nini. Hizo ma sneakers. Sawa, see, at least you make them just at least Air Jordans. At least. Please, at least. Because now you're cramping my style. But thank you. On X. I don't know what's going on with y'all lately. So our conversation today, does the distance between your work and your home affect your quality of life? Someone told me no. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and I was so surprised that people drive for 2 hours because nimejenga. And I was like, so then where? Do you know the time you spend? 2 hours. That means if you're supposed to report to work at 9 o'clock and you leave Uko diaspora, by the way, in the middle of nowhere. So you have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, not to even, and then in the evening, same thing. It's a lot. And I feel like it'll cost you eventually physically, mentally, because you're always tired. And I hate traffic. And every day, like your life is now a road trip, minus the snacks and the good cheer, and then financially I don't understand the people who say the house is cheaper in Limuru and then you work here on Mombasa Road, but what about the fuel or the if you're using transport, public transport, what about the fare? You do the math and it still doesn't. Say you're staying there because it's scenic, it's beautiful, the air is fresher, your neighbors are minding their business, you live in your own compound, you love the foliage and you want to be one with nature. But you're not going to tell me you're living there because of the rent is cheaper. When you do the math with your commute, it still evens out. In fact, it's probably more expensive. And then the social amenities you're used to. Excuse me, please. In the jungle in Ushago. And also socially. Okay, there's people who want to live alone remotely, minus anyone ever. I was just in the neighborhood. What are you in my neighborhood doing? And I could live inside a forest. you dig. But I think it's that time you spent during your commute could better be used doing something, learning, doom scrolling, spending QT with your quality time with your loved ones. If you have children, that's really painful. And then they also have to go to school far away, right? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I really, I say we listen and don't judge here. I judge. I don't understand people who want to, you live in Makueni and drive to Nairobi every single day, and then they'll give you some story about how it makes more sense because they've built Anyway, I want to hear from you. What's the longest commute you've ever had? Would you live an hour, 2 hours away and some change away from your workplace? Would you take a job that is out of your way completely, entirely, but it pays good, it's the job of your dreams? Would you? Like, what level of comfort or discomfort can you entertain in your life? And our question again, does the distance between your work and your job affect your quality of life? Does the distance between your home and your job affect your quality of life? At SpiceFM KE on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And nimeambiwanganya ya sugar na spice with a lot of kafirifiri. Iko hapo imelonchiwa kwa X, so you can check out the madness there. And you can also send in your 2 cents. Watu kama kina Ken Gitao kwa Patel na nyumba yako. What's the difference? What's the distance? And is it manageable? And is it taking a toll on you? Let's talk. Michael Jackson and the great Akon. Don't ask his baby mamas. They might have something different to say. Hold my hand. What I need is for this guy to just explain. He told us he was going to die soon. I'm not saying I'm waiting for him to die. I'm just asking what happened. You know, when you break the news to the public that you're going to die and everyone's like, you're just doing this for show and to get attention and, you know, throw yourself a pity party. And then you say, no, you're not. I'm just here. Like, any signs of this guy going to the afterlife? Yeah, I thought so. He really needs to take the cue from his sister. His sister is just through and through a class act in everything. Her publicity. Guys were shaming her the other day that she's lost a lot of weight, Brandy. Her clapback, man, I read it and I'm like, why do I want to cry? She really went in. She was like, we need to start being kind to each other and to stop questioning people's weight gain, weight loss online. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I love it for her. Her brother, though, boo! But I like that song. It's nice. I hope you do too. 94.4 Spice FM. Yolanda Mulwa is my name. Word around town. And today's discussion to the people at the back who want to go and live in Limuru and then you work in Syokimau. What gives? Let landlords around your workplace also enjoy your rent. And if you're looking to build, to buy, I'm sure there's options closer to your workplace. I am sure. If you're not so picky and you think about your long-term comfort, I'm sure you can find something that works for you. Let's see what you had to say. Me, I don't even understand this Mochongo ano session that's going on X, but I like it for all of us. Mwagi, nimekuita tribes. What's going on? Oh my good. Marangapi. You know what happens to people who know too much in movies? Ooh, off with their heads. Okay, I'm not even going to have that conversation with you. But someone says, I'd like to request an interview with the Standard teams about their ongoing Goons accountability report. Could you point me to the right contact? Thank you for this important work. Someone is going to DM you, Mutanu, and send you our info at or editor at email to help you. I hope that, sorts that. And someone has asked me if I have a lawyer. Can we just behave ourselves today? What's going on with us, by the way, on X? I'm going to read, find out who's listening and where from on Facebook. And then we can get into some audio comments from you. Okay, there's some comments as well. And we asked you today on What Around Town, does the distance between your place of work and your home affect your quality of life? Baba Wanda says, in a way, it does. Vic Jason says, I don't go to work, but the distance doesn't affect your quality of work. Being a football fan for many is like a job. Let's take, for instance, Brazilian fan from Rio who clocked 90 and says he treks or commutes long distance, even days before event to catch a match. What's making him do this is not anything rather than the love, passion, and commitment. He values the game, gives it a top priority, whether the return is nothing. Okay, nice analogy. Tina Masese says, yes, like why call us for something at the office because I live close? Or why abuse virtual meetings because we don't live near work? Please, leave us alone. You went for the jugular. You went for employers. Tina Masese, you are foul. I love it though. Yeah, but it's true. If you live close to the office when you naitangwa, someone forgot to do this. Excuse me, okay? And then if you live far, they abuse virtual meetings. I love it. A nice point of view. McRave and Megan says, yes, upweke utazidi na utajikuta umegongewa na wewe pia umegongeana. Oh my God. Okay. I didn't see that one coming. You're always taking this show to the bedroom. I push it out. I pull it out. You push it. Forget it. D Brownie, Kahawa Sukari in the house. Exit 10, well represented. Thank you so much. Dennis Madhaga Kihara says, not at all, Mulwa. Requesting I Don't Have the Heart by James Ingram, please. Anthony Gitonga Watona, I go to college and work close to my home. Sometimes it is good to try and live closer to where you go to work because it saves you time. Time is money. Mic drop. I love it. Hakim Brian Kante says, yes, it affects so much as you take more time traveling for instance, I think that's what you meant. For instance, waking up early and coming back late, maybe limiting your time with your family members. Exactly. I'm telling you, time. I feel like time is the most precious thing a human being has. And time management is on top there when you're emotionally regulating, emotional intelligence, when you're, bettering yourself. You best also have some good, great time management skills. And how do you attain that if you are stuck on the road every day because you're going to work and coming back from work? Even children. When you have children, you have to look for schools that are close to you or move closer. We gave up a really beautiful house to move closer to my daughter's school. And I understood. I was like, this works. This works so that she can also enjoy going to school and not always just be tired. There's more to life than just being stuck in traffic. And this Nairobi traffic, hey. Oh my God, it's horrible. And there's no uptime and downtime. It's just awful all the time. So let's listen to more of your comments. Does the distance between your place of work and your home affect your quality of work? This is what you had to say.
Distance between your workplace and where you live affects your quality of life. Because if you live a bit too far, you have to set aside like some few hours of commuting, and commuting is not easy. Utapatana na watu kama kwanza una gari, utapatana na watu kwa barabara, mnafinyana kwa matatu, makanga sijui amekufanyia nini. And mind you, maybe umetoka ukiwa stressed kwa job, and then now you have more stress juu ya commuting, like 2 hours are set aside for commuting. That's like 4 hours in a day, and then you in work for like 8. Nika unaishi tu kwa barabara and work. Yeah, it does affect how your quality of life. Unaweza anza hata kumea mvi juu ya stress.
Yes, I think the distance between your work and your job affect your quality of life. Why? Long distance between your job and your home equals to long commutes, and long commutes, especially in heavy traffic, increases stress and fatigue. It also reduces your family time because you spend most of your days at work, and when you get off work, you spend most of your time in commuting or in traffic. And then you have the increased cost, which can also reduce your disposable income, leading to more stress. But if now you had a short commute or short distance between your home and your job, this gives you more time with your family, and it gives you even more flexibility. You can have more sleeping time than more time spent on the road, and you have improved work-life balance, and you can reduce transport costs, leading to more disposable income. But long distances doesn't mean long commutes to work. You can have a long distance between your job and your work, but you use the expressway, you can get there faster. It doesn't always mean like long distances is equals to long commute, but I think distance really matters and affects the quality of your life.
Yes, the distance between your job and your place of where you live affects your quality of life. First of all, let's start with the income. Most of your salary, when you live far from your job, you find out that most of your salary unaitumia tu kwa transport. So it's like you're working for transport. You're not even getting something out of it. Then another thing is kuchoka. People who live closer to the job hawatachoka sana kama people who commute from far places, people who live far from jobs, like due to jams, kufinyana kwa mat. You know the way Kenyan economy is, ni kufinyana tu kwa mat, kukalia masambaza, yeah, so unapata umechoka most of the time. Then another thing is people who live far from work, unapata anafika nyumbani, let's say it's a mother, anafika home late, utapata watoto wako wamelala, let's say unatoka pia mapema, utatoka kwa wamelala, so time ya ku socialize na watoto hakuna, like that bonding is not there. Yeah,
I'd have to say yes, because let's say if I live far from my workplace, I'll have to plan my day ahead, and that means waking up early, knowing which routes to take to avoid traffic. Yeah. Rather than if I lived closer, I wouldn't have to worry about that much traffic. Yeah. And
I actually think the distance between work and home usually affect the quality of life, because living close to work usually saves time. It also reduces stress, and it also gives me more time to spend time with my family rather than a long commute, which is usually tiring and it's usually expensive, which also